Hello everybody, I'm Yolanda, aka Creative Mommy of Two, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am doing my latch hook and doing a little WIP and Chat. So grab out whatever it is that is your work in progress, with other words, your WIP, and let's have a ramble. As you probably can hear if you've been on my channel before, my voice is kinda gone. So we're going to see how long we are going to make it today, because I don't think my voice will last long. And if you hear my candy in my mouth wiggling around, I need to do something to keep my throat a little bit, well, okay. So, yeah, as per usual, the latch hook that I'm working on is still this image I'm give or take here. And yeah, this is a 2-year-long project, so it's long. But yeah, how are you all doing? I hope you are doing... Whoa, my chair caught on something. Sorry if that also bumped my recording arm. But as I was trying to say, I hope you all had a wonderful week. My week was eventful. Over the weekend I got a cold and yeah, you hear my voice right now, so yeah, that's going well. So sorry for the coughing and everything, and yeah, hopefully my voice will keep going at least for like an hour or something. Because today I wanted to talk to you about the origins and changes in the Dutch holiday of Sinterklaas. So it goes mainly about Sinterklaas, but we also will talk a little bit of the changes in Piet, or as he was probably earlier and basically most known as Black Piet, Zwarte Piet. But yeah, as per usual, there are a lot of origin stories about the same person. And it's always a little bit of a case of who has written it down, what was their point of view, so what version do they focus on. Especially the part of Piet is kind of a little bit of a debate on like what the origin was. I have seen multiple stories, so yeah. Also, Sinterklaas itself will change during the course of history, and that was also due to the beliefs at the time, why he changed back basically, and everything surrounding it. So yeah, so basically, like to summarize, he started off as a bishop, then got turned into a bogeyman, then turned back into the bishop. To like get a general overview of how crazy some stories get. So I do have a long list here. I am just taking it off the Wikipedia page of the Netherlands about Sinterklaas. So it's all in Dutch, so I do need to pause every now and then to think of the right translation. I didn't work as far ahead to actually translate everything. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you like I think this is basically like the more general kind of version the people know. Especially the part of him being a bishop and where he's from and everything, that's kind of known. Like the how-tos and stuff, not so much. I do know I think 2 or 3 years ago, I talked about like the origin of putting your shoes out. That will be mentioned here as well for a little bit. But we will see how everything goes and where we end up. So, yeah. So it says here like general... In general, Sinterklaas, other names that are known about him are Saint Nicholas, Saint, or Yeah, Goed Heiligman. I do need to translate that one quickly. I did translate a few words, but yeah. I think Good Holy Man. Good Saint. Something like that. It was something with good and holy, so yeah. And he is the main character of like the centuries old Sinterklaas feast, the St. Nicholas feast. The day, the 6th of December, goes by as his birthday. The party mainly holds in that Sinterklaas gives gifts, or presents, however you want to call them, to all the kids that have been nice the past year. And it is normally celebrated on the 5th of December, like Package Eve, mainly in the Netherlands and many times in Belgium. It is the 6th. And apparently it says here also like in some of the former Dutch colonies. And it might be that as soon as I cough for a little bit that my voice changes for a bit, so yeah. We will see how everything goes, as I said before. So yeah, sorry if you can't handle coughing or strange voice. Maybe this video is not for you this round, but yeah. So, it says here, the figure of Sinterklaas is based on the Greek bishop Nicholas of Myra, that in the end of the 3rd century, beginning of the 4th century after Christ, lived in, I don't know the translated of this, like Lycia, in, it says here Small Asia. It's like modern day Turkey, give or take that area. He lived around that time and he was known for his good deeds. In 550 he was declared a saint by the Grecian Catholic Church. In one of the legends stories were told about how he threw in golden bales at poor families, inside the homes of poor families. And according to, well, survival stories, I can better say, like the surviving stories, the 6th of December actually is his death date, it's his passing date. But he was Bishop Nicholas of Myra. His birth date is not known. It says here Sinterklaas is being portrayed as a stately old man with a long white beard, long white hairs, a red mitre, a cloak, and he is riding on the rooftops of houses on a, yeah, it says here schimmel, Appaloosa, I believe it is. Okay, did not translate. Yeah, it does not translate well because schimmel is also a name for mold. But it's like I think a little bit, I think mostly known like Pippi Langkous is what we call her in the Dutch. Pippi Longstockings, I believe, is like the English translation. She had also in schimmel, I believe. So it's one of those horses, like mainly white, a little bit gray, Something like it. Sorry, my voice. Yeah, so he rides on the rooftops of houses on his horse and has, well, a or multiple Pieten/Pieten as helpers. So that's like the quick overview with a little bit of his origin. Then I need to put this one down and move my page a little bit. So in the modern version of the story, or at least of the Dutch version, Sinterklaas arrives by steamboat with his helps, the Piet. This apparently, most likely at least, comes from a little book from the 1850s, Sint Nicolaas en zijn Knecht, it is called, so Saint Nick and his help. And that is from a teacher and poet, Jan Schenkman. He notes like important traditions in the text and on rhyme. Obviously, he's a poet. And made colorful drawings of the stuff with it. The feast itself has like a way older origin. As I said, it's based on a person from the 3rd, 4th century. Yeah, it says here also like the celebrating of Saint Nicholas is already started at his passing. Hundreds of churches, cathedrals, basilicas are named after Saint Nicholas. In many countries, of Europe, Saint Nicholas Day is still celebrated, but the way does differ a lot from country to country. Also like a way of like how everything evolved, changed in the different parts of basically like in the different countries. I think it can also differ like a lot from region to region, but I think in many places it will also be like a little bit more like nationalized, to say it like that. But yeah, it's not as different in a lot of places that it was like way back when, because then it was more like every place has its own thing. Now it's more nationalized. But to be quite fair, this is, it says here like nowadays it is celebrated like widely spread, but it wasn't like very normal until like recently. Because it says here like in 1967, so I believe that's like the year my mother is born, Sinterklaas still was not welcome on a lot of Protestant Christian elementary schools, because it has Catholic origins. So yeah, faiths under themselves are not the nicest, even though, yeah, believe what you believe, but okay. That's here nor there. Not going into that can of worms. Because that's a whole load of worms that I'm not willing to catch. So here it goes into a part of like Saint Nicholas of Myra himself. it says here, Nicholas of Myra was born in Patara. Again, place names I don't know the English translations for, and it is in Lycia. That is in modern day Turkey, in Antalya. I think that will be the province or something. But in the year of 280 after Christ, it belonged to the Roman Empire. So later on in his life, excuse me. Yeah, so later on in his life, he became Bishop of Myra, the capital city of Lycia. He died on the 6th of December of 342. And quickly after his death, the St. Nicholas Church where he was buried became a pilgrimage place. And in 550 he became he was declared a saint by the Greek Catholic Church, as I said before. So centuries later, the Muslims got into the area, and in 1087 his remains were taken out of his burial ground and taken to Bari. If I'm not mistaken, that was Italy, because they were afraid of the burial ground being destroyed. Because, yeah, people should leave people be where they should be, without there being obvious reasons for it. Because, yeah, there are reasons where it's normal to dig up people, like old graves and stuff. Like, for example, at coastlines or anything, or there where the places are threatened by one or the other reason. But not because, I think it's not fair to just basically get rid of a grave because the person has a different faith than you. But again, can of worms, not going to open. Because, yeah, everybody has their religion, everybody has their own opinion about religion, everybody has their own right to opinions, to religions, also to opinions, but yeah, but still, it's a whole can of worms. And it's a whole lot of something. I'm going to grab a quick sip of a drink, so hold on. Going to pause you for a bit, so. And I'm back, and I directly can see how long I'm filming, so this is going nice. But yeah, so by the 11th century, late 11th century, by that time, because they moved St. Nicholas's body, or at least his remains, because, yeah. In western part of Europe, the celebrating of St. Nicholas was also like taking a bigger shape. So it says here, as saint in the old Christianity, that's the word, St. Nicholas was earlier on only celebrated in the east of Europe, to be precise, mainly in Greece and Russia. Because St. Nicholas was also I think it's patron saint of sailors in the 10th century, even in West Europe. He got a bigger presence. In the 13th century, his name day was determined to be the 6th of December, which amplified his, celebration throughout entire Europe. So it says here there are little to no stories known about the original Saint Nicholas. After his death, there are all kinds of miracle stories that got to go around. To be quite honest, as is with most of the saints and old stories and all, many times you hear the stories from after the person died and not from during his life or her life, in case it's about a female, but you know what I mean. Well, I was almost starting to read about the Middle Ages, where we are not yet are. So the most known the most known story about St. Nicholas is about a poor man with 3 daughters that, because of the gift of St. Nicholas, was able to marry off his daughters instead of them landing on the streets, let's call it like that. Just in case there are smaller ears listening, even though it might not be the smartest WIP and Chat to listen to with small ears, but oh well. Depending on how good of a link they lay between other characters. But yeah, so he saved the 3 girls from, bad times. He apparently threw gifts through the open window. Here probably the origin of the strooigoed. What's the best translation again? No. Yeah, it says here like sprinkles, but it's like many times like little pepernoten, like these little foamy kind of hard candy look like things in shape of like the mitre of Sinterklaas and stuff. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I forgot that it was 10 o'clock, so my tablet was starting to speak. We didn't air out enough yesterday. But yeah, it's like a throwing around of like the harder candies. Not a fun thing if you get it in your face when you throw it, so most of the times it's thrown like basically at the ground. Obviously not on the street, you then get it in your hands, but when you're inside celebrating, they might be just stand at the door and throw something into the room. So yeah, keep it safe distance from the door. Yeah, so that's apparently where that came from, just as the chocolate coins. Because, nice golden wrapper, golden coins. Giving gifts to poor people, I can see the appeal of chocolate coins. So later versions were told that the strooigoed, so the candy, let's call it that, ended up in the shoes. So he throw it in and the candy got in the shoes, miraculously. That's talking about a good aim. I know I can't hit a shoe with like throwing something in an open window, but oh well. Maybe if you have a good aim. I know I don't, so. It says here that different legends from like over 800 years after his passing, a legend about 3 kids that were being killed by a innkeeper in a wooden barrel, like a pickling barrel. The kids were put in there after they were killed, and Saint Nicholas resurrected the kids and gave the innkeeper and his wife forgiveness when they showed grievance, I think is the word. Again, as I said, I need to translate as I go. Yeah, in case you didn't know by now, I'm Dutch, so English isn't my first language. So yeah, I do need to think about some translation words. But yeah, there's also a legend of a kid that was saved from burning in a bath. No clue exactly how that would happen, but yeah, I think like burned by hot boiling water, like not burning by fire, I guess, would be my safest way of thinking. So it is also here saying like the celebration in the Middle Ages. So in the Middle Ages, on German and North France, words. So in monastery schools in Germany and northern France, the Saint Nicholas celebration were celebrated. In a like miracle show, Saint Nicholas appeared for the kids. He ballooned. I just threw in the Dutch word. He, let's translate in my head. Rewarded. That's the word I was looking for. He rewarded the good schools, kids. Words. Seriously, my brain is getting fried. But yeah, so he rewarded the good kids and basically punished the bad. Or at least where it was like, hey, pay attention next year. Because, yeah. So the St. Nicholas celebration was going from the 13th till give or take the 16th century. Together with the Bishop's Play. This I think is like the play that I mentioned before. On the 6th of December, in that time, the children's bishop with their entourage were chosen. They were from the until the 28th of December. It says here it's like on nozzle translation. I think ridiculous. Oh, silly. Okay. So they have silly kids or something. So from the 6th till the 28th of December, they were gifted food and gifts. And other kids got money and a day off on the 6th of December to celebrate. I think like the part of like from the 13th to the 16th century, the kids' bishop games is from the Netherlands itself. It doesn't really say that as much. But it says here later on, like the oldest mansion is from Dordrecht, which is a city in the Netherlands. So if you by any chance watch the channel Buncharted, they are from Dordrecht. Or at least live in Dordrecht at the moment. And if you don't know them, they are an American couple living in the Netherlands now. Let's see the cake. Yeah, let's look. Going to skip like the quotes from the book, so I need to look like where is a good point to move along. Yeah, it says here in the Utrechtse St. Nicholas Church in 1427, money was put into kids' shoes. So I think that's where also the tradition of putting out your shoe to be filled nowadays with candy or toys. I think that's where that tradition came from. And kids went to dress up in like a parade around the city, the streets, and got money. Here it says bishop's money, so maybe like a special type of something from passers-by. And apparently somewhat similar traditions are still being done in other countries. It says here as a example in Klausjagen in Switzerland. I honestly have never heard about it, but I think that's like a regional thing that, yeah, as long as you don't look into it, you never hear about it. So it says here also, like in the 19th century, there was also a strong conviction that the St. Nicholas celebration had similarities to the early before Christian aspects of the Odin cult. Some elements from the Sinterklaas feast were linked to the Germanic mythology, like the Saint. What was it again? Seriously. The good saint, that was it again. From the good saint driving on a horse over the rooftops. Ooh, my voice. That would remind people of the god Odin. That would be like riding his horse. Sleipnir, that was it. Or at least something close to it. My brain is a little bit foggy at the moment. But he would drive his horse to the heavens. So the Germanic theory was in the 20th century like left behind because of scientific lack of evidence. Just whatever you want to believe in again. So need to scroll down, like again. I'm going to look for a better part. Yeah, here. Because some parts are a little bit too into detail. But yeah, so the Sinterklaas celebrations got some resistance from after the Reformation by the Protestants because they were against Catholic saint celebrations. So the Protestant preachers tried to eliminate the party because they judged the Catholic superstition. That's the word I was looking for. Around 1600, for example, Delft did forbid the celebration of the holiday. Some cities gave off they forbade the people for putting out their shoes or publicly selling St. Nicholas treats. Let's see, That's that. Oh, yeah. Quickly look, quickly look. Am I doing it right here? Yes, I am. Am I? No, wait. No. Hold that thought. Yeah, this one belonged there. I was thinking, like, this is too much. There's something is not right. Yeah, so again, despite the resistance on changing the holiday, it changed basically from a religious to a folk fest. In Belgium, the religious part was keeping its place for longer. But the entire tradition was so popular that it never completely gone away. Even the Protestant part of the population celebrated, or at least in some way. It says, like, an angry preacher wrote in a little book against this on-Christian nonsense, that a father did climb up the roof to leave horseshoe prints on a snowy roof, so that the kids would believe that St. Nicholas really came. So the party moved, at least partially, from the street, but like in many households it still existed. But even in 1895, a mayor of the city called Sluis was against the celebrating in public schools. But in the 20th century, it gained popularity. And yeah, obviously, nowadays it's celebrated in white meat. And it says here, like, a similar transition was going on in the German and French border areas in the Alsace. Sorry. Where Protestantism had way more people. From the 16th century onwards, the Sinterklaas celebration mainly disappeared. But St. Nicholas was changed by the Christelkind that brings packages. In the Catholic region of Lotharingen, this Sinterklaas party was kept as it was. Sorry, I'm needing to drink a sip of water again, so my voice hopefully stays on a bit longer. So hold on. Okay, and I'm back. So I scrolled around a little bit further to, like, where I wanted to go. Could have it all in one go. Sorry. So it says here, like, the figure of St. Nicholas is throughout the centuries evolved from a patron saint of kids to a boogeyman to a stern pedagogue, I believe the word was. No, don't mind my pronunciation. Like a hard teacher, like, call it like that. And then, like, in diverse ways, and then into a folkloric kid's friend in shape of a bishop. So it says here, like, the transformation from saint to boogeyman probably had something to do with the hold on. Okay, I'm back. I got myself a new candy, so hopefully my voice and my throat keep what it was. So, back to what I was saying. Start that sentence right over again. So the transformation from saint to boogeyman probably had something to do with the ban of like the Catholic, the portraying of Catholic saints in the Protestant areas. He was like dressed up as a scary black man with chains around his feet or with gestures, bells. So this version of Sinterklaas is also called Black Klaas, Zwarte Klaas. He gave candy to the good kids and intimidated the naughty ones. He probably in this way was also the predecessor of Piet. So it says here, like in bigger cities, the Volksfest sometimes created little riots and public drunkenness. So yeah, in the 18th century, people turned away from the street parties and yeah, also like against the image of the boogeyman. The celebration needed to be used as a way to, in a positive way, basically force obedience from the kids. So now it became part of education. And yeah, that earns its way fully into a place of like schooling, education, and into the family. So now that the boogeyman image was done, the traditional bishop was, reimagined. But until the 20th century, there was actually still a part of the boogeyman that wrinkled with chains and his black helper that put kids into a bag. Nowadays, the bag is only used to transport gifts. To be quite honest, I know that at a certain point, when I was growing up, if they were threatening me like, hey, if you don't behave, you go into the bag and you will be taken back to Spain by Sinterklaas and the Pita. Well, I was like, well, that sounds like a great holiday for me. Because, nowadays with like media, Spain isn't like the scary far off place that it might have been like a few centuries ago. So nowadays, not so bad. So it also says here, like from the second half of the 19th century, Sinterklaas was actually like a in-person person who moved around through society, because until then he was just a mythical person who just put in the gifts in the shoes in the beginning of December, and so that kids knew, or people knew, that he was there, but he was never seen. But nowadays, he is seen, obviously. Need to move around a little bit. It says here again that like nowadays they say that it's like going to Spain, like that he's coming from Spain. But apparently let's think how to pronounce it. Well, how to say it. So they say nowadays, like, he comes from Spain. It's a whole thing. He comes from Spain to the Netherlands. But as I said, like, his body was relocated to Bari, which is southern Italy. But apparently that area was once under the government of the Lord of Aragon, which was a Spanish king, I believe. So most likely the area of Spain is like way bigger than it nowadays is. So we say Spain, but it most likely will actually originally have been Italy. So yeah, that's something. So yeah, it says here that it gave like the introduction of peat. It says here actually like black peat, because that it was till like about 10 years ago. So it says here like until the 19th century, Sinterklaas most likely did not have like a set helper, like it changed around. So there were some personalities that got around, but not as like the help of Sinterklaas. So like there are a few names given around to helpers. Some were Pieter met de poten, Peter with legs. In 1749, Pietermansknecht, Peterman's help. 1833, Pieter Meknecht, so give or take the same, in 1850. It says here in the little book of St. Nicholas and his help, which I said by the Dutch teacher and poet, there are a few things that got a solid place in the folklore in the area of, well, Netherlands and Belgium. A dark colored skin helper for Sinterklaas, the big intocht, like arrival, and the steamboat. The helper in Schenkman, as the person was named in the book, had not yet gotten a name. It was a young man of colored skin, dressed up like a page. And in regional, that person got like different names, like Jan de Knecht, Trappadoel, Nico de Muis, Assipan, Sabas, Hans Moef, Robert, Krikkrak, Michieltje, Hans van Vessen, or Jacques Jour. So in 1895, the name Zwarte Piet became more and more common. It says here it does not stay to one Piet. In case you know the celebration now, you know there are a lot of Piets. After the Second World War, organized Canadian military personnel in the Netherlands a Sinterklaasviering, so a Sinterklaas celebration, with like a lot of black Piets. Since then, St. Nicholas was accompanied by a lot of Piets. So we actually need to be thankful for the Canadians for giving us masses of Piets instead of just one. So Canada made a big imprint on Dutch like tradition. But like of these Piets, like a lot have like their own like jobs, and they were all under like the supervision of hoofdpiet, so head Piet, like the main Piet. While Sinterklaas is always like stately and distinguished, so always like, yeah, the nice old man, to say it like that. The Piets are mostly like acrobats, jokesters, and yeah, play out a lot of pranks. So they are like the fun, airy kind of type with going with Sinterklaas's distinguished air of something. So it says here, like, actually in 1930s, the first critic came on the looks of Black Piet. Going on and on, more and more protest, even from other countries and from the UN. More and more like resistance, that's the word I was looking for, came for the traditional black look. But many were in association with like slavery, which I can understand. But it took until 2013 for the discussion to go this big. Sorry. That there was like an actual group made to like look into it, if it actually was racistical or not. So the Dutch Center for Folklore and other stuff, I'm not entirely sure what it exactly does and stuff, so came with the first alternative, which was some parts to be adapted. So to again get it a little bit more modern, just like they changed it to Boogeyman to fit the needs of the people in that area. We changed the beat now because it fits in this area. But yeah, I actually did not know that the resistance for Black Piet was actually all going in like the 1930s, because especially as a kid you never hear about it, or at least hardly hear about it. But like especially looking as an adult to how Piet looked like way back when, I can especially understand why, but at the same time, the time that they developed Piet was the place that when you were a distinguished gentleman, you had a, yeah, in that time it was basically most of the times a slave or a servant, but many times a slave. And this area many times was someone with a colored skin. Not saying that it is making it good that they did that, but still, it's like, as I said, it fits the tradition of then. Obviously, still it's not good that people had slaves, but it's sadly a thing that's going on from the centuries. As soon as people notice they can get power over other people by treating them like crap, yeah, it goes on. So yeah, it's still an ongoing thing, still bad, but yeah. Again, another can of worms that I'm not willing to open. But yeah, so the changes that they made in 2014 were that Piet was no longer Black Piet. It became now like soot Piet. So they had like smears of soot on their face instead of like being entirely black. Also, like earlier, they had like these big white fluffy, like way back when, old school, like things around their necks, like white puffy. You see them also like in many like images from like way back when, like these big white puffy things around the necks. If you see them, you say, oh, that, but I have no clue how it's called. Many times it was like obviously black face, red lips, big golden earrings, and then like, yeah, the page like the servant's boy like look-alike clothing, big puffy pants, like fancy dress shirt, a hat with a feather, like that was kept because the Pete's nowadays still have that. But yeah, so yeah, since a few years there is given like a lot more movement and diversity into the entire party. Excuse me. Yeah, it says here like about like the clothing and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that many people, even though they don't celebrate it, still know at least the basics of how he looks. So that's where I'm moving away my laptop. But yeah, so nowadays, like there are also like entire TV shows. You have like a Sinterklaas journal. It's called like the news about everything Sinterklaas. It's like every evening at 6 o'clock. Our own kids do watch it. So yeah, I do watch it as well. Always before the like big arrival of Sinterklaas in the Netherlands. There are always some kind of issues that they need to fix before Sinterklaas can safely travel to the Netherlands. I do know that like a couple of years back, I don't know exactly the year, the steamboat has broken down, so eventually everybody, even the horse of Sinterklaas, was flown in by a plane, and yeah, it's a whole load of something. Because originally it was always like pakjesboot. I believe I grew up with pakjesboot 12, if I'm not mistaken. So gift boat 12. So yeah. And also like I always grew up with the horse's name being Amerigo. A couple of years back it changed to Oh So Snel. So Oh So Fast is actually its name now. And the steamboat, which they still use a steamboat. Don't know why, but it's still a steamboat. But it is now the pakjesboot, the package boat, which is also like somewhat fitting because, yeah, it is the gift boat. So yeah, because they take all the gifts from Spain to the Netherlands. But yeah, so that is basically about it. We this year will be celebrating it this Thursday, so if you are watching this directly when I upload tomorrow, the way we plan on doing it is having it, the kids like receiving the gifts in the morning before they go to school. So there will be a big bag standing there, like Sinterklaas has already dropped them off because he is busy on pakjesavond and like gone by the 6th normally. But it is a Thursday and he's actually also in school then. So we are going to spin it like he dropped it off already. So he was also ready to go to school and stuff. And when they get out of school, I think we will let them open them one gift each. My parents will then be here, so that will be fun. For the first time in like the 3rd year my daughter goes to school, my dad will actually be picking up the kids with me. My mom can't walk that far, especially not uphill, so she will most likely be staying here, cuddling with the cats. So yeah, I think the kids will be having a lot of energy because they will be celebrating Sinterklaas in school. Ooh, my voice squeaked. And when my husband gets home, we will be letting the kids open the rest of their gifts. Afterwards, have them like play and eat and go around, because we will be eating like gourmet. So it's like everybody their own little pan and a like baking tray on top and have at it. So yeah, will be fun. Busy but fun. Sadly, our daughter still needs to go to school on Friday. Son always has off on Friday. So yeah, but I think the teachers are aware that a lot of kids, I know that like our son's teacher said that already, like the entire month of December and like the end of November is basically one big pile of nerves for the kids. With like Sinterklaas and Christmas and New Year and and actually a lot of kids from my son's class are also having their birthday in December, so yeah, it's busy, busy, busy. So yeah, how long am I filming? Oh, I'm over an hour already. Oh, it's a long one. But at least my voice is holding up, so I'm going to see how much I can ramble on about the personal stuff. Not much exciting happened last week, so I don't think that part will be too terribly long. So, we'll see. I got not enough of this color. But yeah, so basically, last week when we spoke, yeah, it was Tuesday in the afternoon. Kids were in gym class. My husband took them because he had his week off. He now is back to work. Kids are in school, so it's now like 10:45 in the morning. So I can film in the morning again, because that makes this a little bit easier. But yeah, on Wednesday we just had a regular day. Kids wanted to play games in the evening, so we did that. We played the game Stef Stuntpiloot. So stunt pilot. Don't know, it's like the plane that's moving around. Going to count out a few of these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. But yeah, so we did that. Afterwards, when the kids were in bed, we had our own game night because, yeah, we were not entirely sure if we would, well, what we would need to watch. So ended up playing games as well. Had some snacks with it. Had a fun evening, as per usual. Thursday, went to the hardware store to grab some extra stuff for our attic, because my husband was so far along that I could start filling up the gaps, like basically like the liquid insulation. I don't know how it's exactly called. Here we call it purschuim. It's like these foam kind of stuff, and you spray it in and it expands. And yeah, I now need to like cut the parts out where it came off, put some aluminum tape over it, and then I'm done with that part. So yeah, it's not entirely done because my husband picked up some other projects as well, which he did. So we grabbed, before we went to the hardware store, we went to, was not that day that we went to IKEA. Oh yeah, we went to the garden center. We also needed to have some new cat grass. No, we wanted to go there to see if they had like a Christmas tree, because we still need a new Christmas tree. We use a fake tree, but we want a smaller version than we had. So yeah, but I think we need to end up with either buying one online without having seen it, or just grabbing a regular and putting some lights in. My husband actually wanted one that had a light already in. But yeah, many of the versions he saw was like, eh. So yeah. But yeah, we got then to the hardware store, grabbed the stuff there. Had some lunch afterwards. Went to McDonald's, which is always nice. Yeah, did a little bit of the insulating part. When I said like we went to the garden center, we also went to a lighting store. It's like a store that has like the discounted version of what they have on their web shop. It is basically like priced down like a lot, so we got like 2 lights for like €13 each for on our bedroom, because our night lights were like so old, and we're like, yeah, we need to have another one. We wanted to have another set, so we got those. We also in the future need to get a new bed, because the one we have is like slowly starting to peel off. So like, you know what, now we can try to see if we can like drill holes in like the headboard, get the lights onto there. Did that. Husband got some LED strips for underneath the bed edge, because that's the thing he also wanted for a long time, and we can also see that way like how much light is coming from there, because that's the same lighting system he wants to use for our daughter's room, aka the attic. So he also did that, and he did hang up some lighting for like our kitchen, or at least he hang up the cables for it. So he was busy. Did not get entirely finished with the attic, but hopefully by the latest next week. Depends on how quickly he can figure everything out for the attic this weekend. Because yeah, he still wants to have some weekend, obviously. After that, we want to buy the planks for like building up the walls. Because yeah, as soon as he has done the part he needs to do, I can go in after to finished insulating. Because yeah, using like the foam gun to clean up, will close off the gaps in between the plates, because yeah, that happens. Afterwards, tape them shut and everything. So afterwards we can put in the planks. I can paint them as soon as we have everything on. So that's another job for me. And then we can start building up the furniture and lay flooring. So yay, we're getting there. Oh, so excited. Yeah, for the rest, don't think too terribly much happened. Yeah, the kids are one big ball of energy. So yeah, they are not always as easy and as nice as they normally are. But yeah, that's a case of like, it's December, so it's obvious, still annoying at the time, but it's obvious. I also went to my son's class yesterday, because on Thursday when I picked him up, teacher was like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? I was like, yeah, sure. So she asked me like if I would be willing to help out in the class again, because I did that with Halloween. Apparently it went well, because yeah, she asked me again, because I said like, hey, if you ever need help again, let me know. Not every week, but every once in a while, I would be okay with that. So she asked if I would be able to come on Monday, so yesterday for me, and help out with some arts and crafts. So I was like, yeah, sure. How late do you want me there? Like directly at school, or like later on? She was like, yeah, if you're here at like 8:30 when the school starts, you can just stay and everything. So I was like, yeah, fine. Do my groceries on Sunday and everything is fine. So we did that. Started the class with her and everything. And yeah, so they did basically like their regular stuff. And then in between, she was like at moments like, okay, now you can grab some kids out and make like a little bit of a Sinterklaas craft. Because the downside is like she did have an intern with her class, because she is the teacher that was there on Monday is on Monday and Thursday there for both classes, and then there's the second kindergarten class is there on Friday, so she has them as well. But for none of her days, she has one of the interns. The other teacher that is there on Tuesday and Wednesday has 2 interns. So yeah, she was like, yeah, I do miss my interns. But yeah, the intern she had needed to stop for personal reasons. And so yeah, sadly she does not go to the school for internship anymore. Which obviously is also sad for the teacher, because yeah, she is just one teacher for kids, for like 20, 25 kids. Class will be growing because yeah, like the groep 1, like first kindergarten class, will keep going in as soon as the kids turn 4, they can go to school. So yeah, most likely that will happen. So yeah, I think they will end up with like 30, 35 kids. They have 2 of the groep 1 and 2, as we would call, like first and second kindergarten class. They are mixed. But they have like 2 teachers for that, so I think they end up like 35 kids each, if it will be going on like I expect. Because, yeah, all the 2020, the end of 2020 and beginning of first half of the year of 2021 kids are coming now. So, yeah, we all know what happened in that period. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure how much kids actually were born because of that, but yeah. My kid was from before that time, because he's from May. But yeah, so I ended up spending the entire morning with the class, had a fun time, did some like of the regular school stuff. Ended up not going, playing outside for like a little bit of recess because it was terrible weather. It was raining really hard around that time. Thankfully for me, it was dry when I got home. So yeah, but it was nice. It was really fun to like be a teacher for like half a day. It was fun. Because when I know like one of the girls in my son's class was like, hey, what's your name actually? I was like, yeah, it's Yolanda. She was like, that's a long name and a difficult name. It's like, yeah, I know. Can I just call you teacher? Of like, which the equivalent is of like miss. Because juffrouw is like the same as Mrs. No, miss. Not Mrs. Mrs. is mevrouw. It all looks the same. But like basically the same as teacher. Here they don't say teacher and then the name. So in my case it would be not teacher Yolanda, but basically like Miss Yolanda. They call a teacher juffrouw. The full-on translated version of teacher is actually leraar, or in case of a male, lerares in case of female. But most of the times it is juf for short, or juffrouw, long out for a female teacher, or meester for male teacher. So, yeah. But all in all, it was a fun time. So I'll probably be asked for that multiple times. But I can understand that if the teacher does not have any assistants with her, that she just does not have the time to get around, because yeah, there are a lot of kids, and yeah, I could just have 2 with them at the same time, because yeah, they are 4 or 5 years old, some maybe 6. So yeah, it was a whole lot of something. But yeah, I'm going to just leave it at this, because my voice is going fried. Think it's because of the weather, because now today it's kind of good. Looks like it's raining there just a tiny smidge. But last week it was freezing. It was so cold. It was just no fun anymore. And today I walked outside to grab the container, like our garbage container. And I was like, even without a coat, it's feeling okay. Last week when I wanted to drop something in the container and I was outside for just 2 steps, I was like, cold. So, yeah. So yeah, that's not good for like the immune system and being coffee and coughing and stuff. So yeah, it's a whole lot of something. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at this. Make sure I edit this video so I can schedule it for tomorrow in the evening. See how much I get done in this project in a couple of weeks. Because I am planning on finishing some projects that I have on the go. Because yeah, I have too much on the go. And it's the end of the year, so it's a nice way to clean up everything that's going. Probably either on Wednesday or on Thursday I will be finishing off my Train of Dreams kit. So I will not be starting a new time-lapse project for now, so that will be starting till in January. I might open up a round of voting for you all to vote on what to work on first as a time-lapse next year. But yeah, with everything going like once a week, I now already have enough to fill me until, I believe actually on Valentine's Day, the last of Train of Dreams will be going up. So I have a little bit of wiggle room, which I always think is nice, especially if I'm like having a goal like now, I don't need to film. Only when I want to finish a project like now. But yeah, so that gives me a little bit of space to move around in projects, finish my cross-stitch conversion and all that fun stuff. Well, maybe not finish it, but at least get some moving on it. But yeah, so that's basically my plan for December, to get my WIPs going down as much as possible. And we will see how everything goes. Yeah, with that being said, I hope you liked this video. If you did, well, you know the drill. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a comment if there's anything you want to tell me. Like you want to say to me, like what your opinion on the whole Sinterklaas and Piet debacle is. Like, do you think it's a fun celebration? Like, are you like, nah, not my thing? Or are you against it? Like, that's perfectly fine. Everybody has his own opinion. But yeah, let me know. If you just want to let me know that you watched the video and leave emoji, that's also fine. I love all the interaction with you all guys. I know you all are not really like big commenters. I know I'm not myself, so I don't blame you. But yeah, I do love to read the comments that I do get. And as always, I try to react as soon as I possibly can. But there are things called sleep. So yeah, if it's nighttime in my place, it will take a few hours. But yeah, with it all being said, I hope, as I said before, I hope you liked this video. If you did, you know the drill. And I hope to see you next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night. Whatever applies. Bye!